Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for June the 11th, 2025 for the lower 48 United States. We're going to be looking at the current radar and the hazards, and then getting more into the forecast details here on this June 11th. Did anyone happen to see the strawberry moon yesterday night? Please leave a comment down below if you saw the beautiful strawberry moon for the lower 48 United States. Looking at the National Weather Service current radar here, you can see most of the storms are concentrated in the Arklatex region, as well as into the high plains of eastern Colorado, Nebraska, and New Mexico. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings have been in this area, and these storms will continue to advance eastward as we progress throughout June the 11th tonight and June the 12th in the morning hours. So we see here from Dallas, east of Dallas, so I-20 coming east of Dallas through Tyler, Texas, Texarkana, and up into Arkansas. It's going to be a little bit of a messy ride, as well as I-35 south, heading down from Fort Worth into Waco and Abbott, Texas. There was a tornado warning that is going to be expiring in 20 minutes near Abbott. There was a tornado rotation near Abbott, Texas, south of Waco. This area here is rotating, and it's at tornado warning cell for the next 20 minutes here. So if you're just coming out of Waco on I-35 west or I-35 east and coming north heading toward the DFW Metroplex, there is a tornado warning for this signature here. Very strong hook echo signature here, moving just to the east of Lake Whitney in Abbott, Texas here along 77 here. Highway 77 here will be approaching there in the next 10 to 15 minutes there. So there's something to keep in mind there. Elsewhere, we have those garden variety showers, like I said, in the high plains, as well as in the Intermountain West. And along the Great Lakes, we have some showers here approaching the Quad Cities of Davenport, Iowa, and in the Weiss Lake, Wisconsin. Those showers will continue along the Gulf Coast from Jacksonville to Savannah, back towards Orlando, the I-4 corridor, Altamont Springs, Lake County, back toward the Florida Turnpike Junction with 75 there, and then heading south to Tampa. You guys are into some showers there from Tampa, St. Pete, down to Sarasota, Venice, Osprey, down to Cape Coral and Naples and Marco Island. Showers will continue to press, but these are non-severe storms. They will continue to press more sea breeze showers typical of the summertime pattern that Florida's used to. Looking at the National Weather Service hazards for today, June 11th, or June 12th, tomorrow, I should say, June 12th, which is going to be Thursday, you can see we had that flood watch continuing in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, as well as extending south toward Austin in the Red Hills country of Texas, Hill Country. Now, if you're coming along toward I-10, you should be clear from Houston to Beaumont. However, there's a little light green flood warning there for some of the rivers there around the Brazoria area, Texas area, and Lake Victoria there. Just be careful around that area. Around Houston, there is a flood warning in effect with some of the elevated creeks and streams in that area, bayous there. Elsewhere, like I said, we just have those severe thunderstorm warnings for tomorrow for southern Arkansas, south of Conway, Arkansas, and then toward a little piece here toward Hammond, Louisiana, and Alexandria, along I-12 there, maybe coming into Mississippi Delta there. There may be some severe thunderstorms that may pop up there. And this orange or this pinkish color, this severe thunderstorm watch extends in the Yellowstone Mountain Range here in Wyoming and western Wyoming as well. And we also have the Quad Cities of Iowa once again tomorrow under the gun here. Davenport, the Des Moines, North are going to be into that area there in pink for severe thunderstorms. And then the Pacific Northwest, you don't want to forget our friends up here. Eastern Washington coming over the divide. The passes there, Richards Pass, Stevens Pass, White Pass, Snoqualmie Pass. East of there, you're going to run into some red flag warning, some dry conditions here in the valley, the central valley of Washington here, eastern Washington here. So be very careful and be mindful of that as well. Elsewhere, clear, hot, and steamy here. Summertime conditions for the northeast, southeast, the Midwest, and the southwest, and the west. So just get prepared for that as well. Summertime is going to be coming here. Temperatures here, look at some current temperatures for tomorrow. These are the high temperatures for tomorrow. 86 degrees Fahrenheit for Atlanta, 87 degrees Fahrenheit for Miami, 90 degrees Fahrenheit for Washington, D.C., 86 degrees Fahrenheit for Boston, 70 degrees Fahrenheit in Chicago, very comfortable with the wind coming out the lakes. Humidity should be nice. 85 degrees Fahrenheit for Austin and San Antonio, 94 degrees Fahrenheit in Fresno, California, 106 degrees Fahrenheit in Palm Springs in the desert in Castillo City. Very hot in those areas there from Lake Havasu back over to Phoenix, 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Typical summertime weather for you guys, but this triple heat, you gotta take it cautiously. Even the Pacific Northwest, you guys don't have air conditioning up there. Still gonna be hot. 86 degrees Fahrenheit for Seattle, 74 degrees Fahrenheit for Portland. Very hot conditions as a high pressure builds in tomorrow, I should say Thursday, June 12th, and it's gonna build in much of the country here, providing that stifling, sinking air heat there. Look at the water vapor conditions here. You can see it on the water vapor today. We have that moisture I showed you there in green for Texarkana area up in the eastern Oklahoma from Fort Smith, Arkansas, back into Tulsa, Broken Arrow, back into Kansas, southern Kansas there, Wichita, back into the Boot Hill country of Missouri. Elsewhere, we have that dry air intrusion there in the Mid-Atlantic from Norfolk to Virginia Beach, Richmond. Beautiful day in Charlottesville. Beautiful day in the West Virginia mountains there. Pure West Virginia. Also Pennsylvania. Beautiful day in Maryland. Baltimore to D.C. to Philadelphia to Dover. Over to Atlantic City. Jersey, South Shore. Beautiful day in New York City as well. Hello to you guys. Beautiful day in all the boroughs there. That dry air filtered in. Will continue to filter in tomorrow. That sinking air, dry air, providing that highest high temperatures for tomorrow. Feeling like summer on the I-95 corridor and inland into Pittsburgh, all the way through the Ohio Valley as well. Out west, we have the same conditions out here in California. Beautiful dry air, orange here showing up all the way from Sacramento Valley, from San Francisco, all the way down to Fresno, Bakersfield, LA, San Diego, into the Mexican border. Beautiful weather conditions there as well. If anybody traveling to Cabo for Mexican vacations or Oaxaca, beautiful conditions down there. As well. The tropics are quiet in the next 7 days. No tropical activity. The Saharan dust is retreated here as well. And you can see in the next 7 days, according to the GFS model here, this is showing you the GFS model here for today, June the 11th. I'm going to advance it slowly here. And you can see we have those garden variety thunderstorms in the south, typical Gulf moisture here. This is by June the 11th, nighttime. We get into later on in the forecast period here, we get into Monday here, and there's a soaking rain here coming in next Monday here. This may be tropical moisture in nature. Not exactly what I call it, tropical storm or depression, but just a lot of heavy soaking rain for the Appalachians here. So places like Asheville, Mount Airy, into Danville, Virginia, into the mountains of West Virginia, and into western PA and Ohio could be heavy rain and storms coming next Monday, June 16th. So just something to keep in mind. But Father's Day looks absolutely fabulous here. If I rewind it here for Sunday, June 15th, Father's Day has most of the country looking absolutely fabulous here, from LA all the way across St. Louis, Indianapolis, Chicago, Cleveland, all the way across. Just some garden variety rain in the afternoon, spotty showers here in Texarkana region once again, and in the deep south, the Tennessee Valley may get some showers, mid in the Pacific Valley, and then up into the upper Midwest, some deep showers there. But otherwise, a fabulous Father's Day weekend for June 15th for most of the country. Now, as I advance the GFS model here, we're going to be looking at, we don't see any surges of cold air. Cold air is gone. We do see another warm surge coming in on Thursday, June 19th or Juneteenth holiday toward that weekend. Next weekend, be careful of that. There's going to be some serious heat coming into the west here. So places like Denver, Las Vegas, Phoenix, LA, you could be experiencing a heat wave as a ridge appears to be building here in the west. And temperatures in the east could be going up as well, as there's some stifling heat that's going to be experiencing for the Mid-Atlantic. So places like Raleigh, Columbia, South Carolina, Augusta, Atlanta, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, Miami. You guys are going to be experiencing a heat wave here coming up on Juneteenth next Thursday, looking out in the future. But we don't see any expansive rain here for the next 2 weeks. We see just scattered garden variety showers. You notice there's no flooding rains coming into the system here. Most of it stays either north of Canada, on the Canadian border, rides along the Canadian border here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, or coming up from the south, that Gulf moisture stays soaking along the I-10 corridor in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So anywhere from Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Pensacola, Mobile, Biloxi, and in that area, just look out for soaking rains in the next 2 to 3 weeks in the afternoon. And then how it is on the Gulf Coast. You get a soaking rain 1 hour, and the next hour the sun's out and there's steam rising from the ground. So just be very mindful and cautious of that in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's what we have, moisture coming up, surging from the Gulf, tropical moisture, but nothing tropical storm or depression like yet. Typically, we see our first storm around the last week of June. Our first tropical storm entity or depression forming around the last week of June in the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, or out here in the Atlantic, east of the Bahamas. That's the typical areas, climatologically speaking, that we see our first typical tropical area development. So right now, all bets are on that last week of June for something developing between June 21st to the end of the month, June 30th, for our first A-name storm. But we'll keep you posted on that later. But this is what the GFS is showing right now. Thank you for listening for the Weather Guru. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that like button. I appreciate your support, ladies and gentlemen. Any questions or comments or anything you want to add, leave it in the comments. Thank you very much. God bless. Talk to you soon.